So now that the dust has settled after this super Easter egg has been added into Cold War Zombies, I decided it'd be nice to look at everything that we got on the day that this Easter egg dropped, because there's actually a lot of different things, and there's three main subjects I want to go over. First is the rewards that we got, then I want to go over the storyline that we got that hints at the future of Treyarch's story going into their next game, and finally some tweets that were going back and forth between old Call of Duty developers and current ones, which also give little hints at what we're going to be seeing with Treyarch's next game. Either way, let's start off with the rewards, because this is something that mainly people are focusing on, and the reason that is because a lot of people are disappointed with the permanent rewards that we got, and I do have to agree with them there, because the rewards that we got was just that if you've completed all 6 Easter eggs, you will just spawn into every game with whichever loadout gun you want as purple rarity. Now don't get me wrong, this is incredibly convenient. It's so nice that you don't have to waste salvage on stuff and you just get the gun you want already pretty good, and that is very convenient for casually playing zombies. But one thing that I think that this really doesn't help too much is Easter eggs, and I feel like Easter eggs should be like the main focus of a super Easter egg reward, you know, and I just feel like for every round-based Easter egg, this is just not too useful. Don't get me wrong, it's convenient to have a purple rarity gun off the start, but in all these Easter eggs, they require you to get the wonder weapon, so you're not going to need your purple rarity gun too often for all of the round-based ones. Now, there is an exception here that actually makes it so much easier, and that is actually the Outbreak's first Easter egg, the Legion boss fight, because getting your gun rarity as high as possible, as fast as possible, is incredibly important, and I'll probably make a video showing just how nice this super Easter egg reward is for that one Easter egg, but besides that, I just feel like it's not that useful. But now moving on to the storyline part of all this, because during this super Easter egg, while you are doing the little possession thing, you actually could hear a couple different quotes while you do it, and some of them just don't really matter in terms of storyline, where it just says things like, "You will learn more in time, we will be watching, it is done, here's a reward for your offerings." Now, the only thing we can really take from any of those is that last one, that whoever this demonic voice is that's talking to us, which I'm not really just saying demonic voice, it literally in the subtitle just says demons. So you know, the only thing we gather from those ones is that maybe they're glad we did all the Easter eggs, and in other words defeated the Forsaken. They're rewarding us for that, but besides that, not really much. But that wasn't all the quotes. There was one last quote that could give us a little bit more to not only what they are talking about or why they may be rewarding us here, but more who this might be. And what that quote was this one here.
"Our ways are of the old world. We will not be forgotten."
So this is very interesting, because that first line they say is, "Our ways are of the old world." And right here, this got a ton of people's minds racing on what the heck they could possibly be talking about, and also who this possibly could be. Because when we hear old world, a lot of us think of the previous Ether universe, the one that came before this one. So is that the old world they're talking about? Well, I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because I don't think that this person who is talking here is someone from that old world, because I know a lot of people when they heard it said it was Dr. Monty of the Shadow Man, but I think with what he is saying is actually very similar to what someone else has said that we've seen in document intel from Forsaken. And we have 2 sets of this document intel, and what it is just blueprints for the Crystal Axe, just telling us how to build it, all 3 parts and all that good stuff, and giving us a little bit and pieces of different storyline within it. And as I mentioned, there's a couple of things mentioned here, but the part I want to focus on is this part of the document where it says, "The Devourer shall be reborn. Their scattered ashes shall be reformed. The Forsaken's torment will be undone when the old ones reign once more." And there at the bottom, the name of who most people believe this to be, Sporagmos. And that's all we really know about Sporagmos. He had us build this Crystal Axe in order to defeat the Forsaken. But why exactly did he want us to defeat the Forsaken? Well, to understand this, we need a little bit of backstory on the Dark Ether and who was ruling it before the Forsaken came around. And to find this out, we actually just have to look at a zombies game called Vanguard Zombies. I know, not great, but hey, that's what we're looking at. And in this game, you actually have field upgrades that are tied to Dark Ether entities. These, of course, are Invictor, Belicard, and many other ones. But what we know from all these is that during the events of Vanguard, it seemed like the Dark Ether was not universally controlled by one person. At one point in the past, it was all controlled by Cortifix, but he was overthrown and it was just kind of individually controlled by all the different Dark Ether entities. But that all changed when Kazimir Zykov was trapped in the Dark Ether. Because when he was trapped in there, somehow he gained power to defeat these Dark Ether entities and even consume some of their powers, and that's why he became so powerful and thus the whole ruler of the Dark Ether. But of course, with him being a ruler, much like Cortifix before him, he did have some enemies in the Dark Ether, and that's who Sparagmos seems to be. And this is why he, first in Forsaken, gave us the Crystal Axe in order to defeat him, but second, why he gave us the rewards with the Super Easter Egg. But where does this leave us off to into the future, into possibly Treyarch's next game? Like, what does Sparagmos want? Is he a good guy, or what is happening with him? Well, I can't say if he's a good guy or bad guy, but it seems like what Sparagmos wants to do is bring back the old ones, or those Dark Ether entities that we saw in Vanguard Zombies. Now, to bring them back, I don't really know if that's possible, because last I checked, the Forsaken consumed these old ones, and even if they survive that process, they're still trapped with the Forsaken in that giant Sophia sphere that Eddie trapped them in. So to bring them back, I just don't know if that's possible. Now, this could just mean that there were some leftover old ones that didn't get consumed by the Forsaken and they will now take control alongside Sparagmos, or something like that. We don't know. All we have to go off of is that same line that I started this whole Sparagmos part with in the document intel, where it says, "The Devourer shall be reborn. Their scattered ashes shall be reformed." But now moving on to the final, I guess, subject that I want to quickly touch on, and this is what developers like Kevin Drew and former Call of Duty developers like Lee Ross were saying on Twitter that give us a little hints at things going in the future. And the first thing I want to talk about is Kevin Drew's tweet after the Easter egg, or secret Easter egg as he calls it, was found. And what he said was, "Hope everyone enjoyed the goodies from the new not so secret Easter egg. It was a swan song, and big thank you from the team to everyone who stayed with us throughout Cold War and completed all the quests. The big question for me is, what do I go with, Peck or Raptor 1? Now, this just seems like a thank you, which it mainly is, but I want to just point out that he did say that this was a swan song, and what that really means is that it's just kind of your last hurrah. This is the last major update we're getting for Cold War Zombies. So again, it's shutting down that whole idea that there's going to be a year 2 of Cold War Zombies, no matter how many other people say. So that's just something I wanted to add in. But what gets a little bit more interesting slash a little funny is actually when we got a tweet from none other than Lee Ross. And anybody who was around during iDub Zombies knows just how great of a developer Lee Ross was and how great of a communicator he was with the community. And he actually tweeted out something that kind of seemed like a shot at Treyarch here, because what he says is, "Like I've said before, IW Zombies is the best super Easter egg the franchise has ever seen. It took a ton of hard work and was risky, but we committed. When you have a highly passionate and talented people working together, special things happen." And again, this just seems like it's saying, oh, we did super Easter eggs better than everyone else, which is true. You know, give him credit, he's not lying. But then what gets interesting to me is that Kevin Drew, the Treyarch developer who's currently still working on Zombies, actually says in response, "Your team set a very high bar, Lee, hoping to raise it in our next game in regards to Easter eggs." And then finally, Lee Ross replies with, "You're a creative mastermind. I have faith that given the support, you could do something extraordinary. Zombies fans have no idea how phenomenal you are as a creative on this IP. go get him, brother, which, yeah, some gas from Lee Ross. But now kind of backtracking to that Kevin Drew tweet, and what I really want to focus on is that second line where he says, hoping to raise the bar in the next game in regards to Easter eggs. Now, this is important to me because in Cold War, Easter eggs were not the most dynamic, I guess I'll say. Well, they were very simple, and you know, that was something that a lot of hardcore zombies fans did not like. So when I see this, to me, what it's telling me is that they're trying to do something crazy with Easter eggs in their next game, and this just gives me hope that Treyarch is going to go and try again with Easter eggs and maybe go back to a style that many of the old zombie fans like, and kind of leaving behind every Easter egg being easy. Which, again, I've said this multiple times in the past, I'm not against the idea of an easy main Easter egg. I just think that you should have a variety of them, have an easy Easter egg, a medium Easter egg, hard Easter egg, and just a bunch of different ones. And this is what I hope he is referring to here when he says that they're trying to raise the bar next game in regards to Easter eggs. But again, I could just be reading too much into a simple tweet, but that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything we've gone over here today, whether it be the rewards, the story, or even what the developers were saying in their tweets. Regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go. I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be, and laters, guys.